Hey everybody, Jay Super Awesome here. I'd like to welcome you all back to my channel. In this video, I will be giving my review for Godzilla vs. Biollante, the Super Beast Battle of the Century. Okay, so getting into the plot for this one. Dr. Shirogami has been genetically engineering a form of indestructible plant life using a rare supply of Godzilla cells. This experiment has brought a strange new form of plant life into existence, Biollante, massive yet peaceful in every way, until Godzilla returns to wreak havoc upon Japan. It is only then that something within Biollante stirs, and the plant must fight to save her creator and the land she loves. It's the Super Beast battle of the century when Godzilla and Biollante come face to face in an explosive battle to the finish. Okay, so getting into my thoughts for this one. So this is a Godzilla movie that I have always enjoyed, and after watching it again this time, I can honestly say that it still holds up very well for me. This movie opens with the ending of Godzilla 1984/1985, depending on where you live for the release of it. This movie opens with that ending, so we have Godzilla doing battle with Super X in the city, buildings are being destroyed, and that fight ends with Super X being destroyed and Godzilla ends up falling off into the volcano. So at the beginning of this movie, he is laying dormant in a volcano for a pretty decent amount of time. So as cleanup begins on the city that was caused by the massive destruction from the battle, a research team discovers some Godzilla cells. So it's basically Godzilla's DNA. And a lot of the movie is dealing with various groups fighting over these Godzilla cells because they're very rare and they're very valuable. So the cells end up in Dr. Shirogami's hands. He is a scientist who specializes in genetic engineering with plant life, and he is hired to develop a new form of plants that can withstand a desert environment. They are hoping to produce crops that can live in a desert environment. Almost as soon as this idea is being presented to Dr. Shirogami, there is a terrorist attack that claims the life of his daughter. Then the movie moves 5 years forward, where he still continues his research on the Godzilla cells and on plant life. And you also get a strong sense that he still mourns the loss of his daughter. Ultimately, as progress is being made on the project, Dr. Shirogami begins to splice Godzilla DNA with plant DNA. The cells combined to form Biollante, and somehow the spirit of his daughter is infused within Biollante. There is a really cool scene that takes place inside the science lab where some thieves have broken in. They are attempting to steal the Godzilla cells. At this same time, the special agent that has been hired by the terrorist is also trying to steal the Godzilla cells. So a fight ensues between the two. And with all this going on, we get to see the first emergence of Biollante, which is basically the tentacled arms. So you have these tentacled plant arms that is attacking the thieves. And it creates a really cool scene, and it really feels like you are watching a monster movie. Throughout the movie, we get various fight scenes between the government agents and the hired hitman of the terrorist. We have learned that the terrorists have placed explosives around the volcano where Godzilla is laying dormant. One of these fight scenes ends up detonating the explosives, which ends up waking Godzilla and setting him free. So now with Godzilla awake and searching for nuclear reactors so he can regain his strength and powers, the government has recovered the parts from Super X and have created Super X2, a far more superior version of Super X, and it is equipped with a new fire mirror, which basically will retract Godzilla's plasma beam. So as the battle rages on between Godzilla and Super X2, Godzilla is eventually led into a city where government agents end up shooting him with rockets that inject him with a bacteria that is supposed to stop him. As all this chaos is going on, we get the emergence of Biollante. What's interesting about Biollante is that Dr. Shirogami has an assistant who has psychic abilities that I can only describe as telepathy. She can sense and understand what Biollante is feeling. I just find that to be really interesting. And with these character traits, she's able to fill us in that Biollante really means no harm and is pretty much a defender type monster. We end up with 2 fight scenes between Godzilla and Biollante. Biollante has emerged because Godzilla is causing all this destruction. We get the sense that Biollante is just trying to stop the chaos, more or less. So the first fight scene we get to see with Biollante and Godzilla, Biollante is in a massive plant form with very long tentacles, sort of Venus flytrap looking mouths at the end of these tentacles. At the top of the massive structure is a rose-like head. Godzilla pretty much thrashes Biollante in this first encounter. It's really cool because between the 2 fight scenes between Biollante and Godzilla, there's a lot of monster blood and monster gore, and it's really awesome. But Godzilla thrashes Biollante in the first encounter, which ultimately ends up setting Biollante on fire, and she ends up disappearing off into little gold sprinkles. The final encounter between Godzilla and Biollante is more or less the same, all besides we get to see Biollante in her final form, which I think is just absolutely amazing. And that's what I love the most about this movie, is the character of Biollante is just an awesome monster to add to the Godzilla universe, and I absolutely love Biollante. She puts up a lot better fight in her final form, and it's just really awesome to see. So with that being said, I'm going to leave this one at that. I highly recommend this movie for Godzilla movie fans. If you have not seen this one yet, then I definitely recommend trying this one out. If you are a newcomer to the Godzilla movies, I'm not really for sure if this is the one to start off with, because the storyline is a little bit drawn out, it feels like to me, and there is some cheesy moments sprinkled throughout the entire movie, especially with the ending. And also with the Super X2, there is some strange superhero, almost Superman sounding music that always plays in the movie when Super X2 appears, and it's a little cheesy. So there is some cheesy fun to be had with this one. But if what I had to say about Biollante is interesting to you, then I highly recommend checking it out. Biollante is a really awesome monster. So with all that being said, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10, as I really enjoy this one. Please like, subscribe, comment below, and let me know what you think. If you have seen Godzilla vs. Biollante, or if my review is interesting to you. And I would like to thank you all for watching.